we're back here with Dual Destinies! Heck yeah! Sorry, my NVIDIA thing isn't showing up in the corner on these videos, and I don't really know why. Can I maybe just, like, disable that? Yes, I can. So we're back here with Dual Destinies, and just a handful of notes. Junie alluded to this at some point, and I know it just from my own experience, that Apollo, like the god Apollo, one of his symbols or whatever is the sun. I didn't think Athena had any connections with the moon, although Athena the character has moon-shaped earrings, and there was a little scene in the opening when it zoomed up on Apollo in courtroom number 4 or whichever one blew up. He had the moon in his eye, like it zoomed into his eye and you could see the moon. So I don't know what precisely the moon has to do with all this, or why Athena's connected with the moon in particular. I just briefly browsed Wikipedia and couldn't find any. I found one use of the word moon in that page, and I don't think it was just to do with something else. Anyway, Athena's got moon earrings, and Apollo's iris turned into a moon when he was looking into the sky. We don't yet know to whom Phoenix was speaking on the phone when he was saying, "Oh yeah, Athena's gonna solve our problems, don't worry about it. That's why I came back." We don't really know what's going on with that. And then just moving along, I'm ashamed with my performance so far. Although, in my defense, they took the bomb out of the stuffed animal and then took a photograph of it. So I kind of assumed they wouldn't then put it back in the stuffed animal to bring it into the courtroom. So that at the very least defends me from the first point that they had to tell me, because I had to take the freebie because I was an idiot. And why don't I hear anything? Oh god, I know why. Okay. So we're back. Oh, so we've seen this. Sorry. I must have not actually hit save on this last time. Right, so we're here on day 2. Whether we're going to be investigating, it looks like we're going to be going back into the courtroom, apparently. Well, I guess the site is the courtroom, so maybe we're investigating. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, December 18th, the next day, 9:34 a.m., District Court Defendant Lobby at number 5. This isn't exactly how I envisioned the second day of this trial to start, but given how things ended yesterday... Good morning. Everyone's feeling psyched today, I can see! I love how Phoenix has taken on this, like, he's such a dad now, in a way. I mean, he's still a very Phoenix-like, but the mood sure is tense. Not that that's any surprise. Oh! Hey, did you read the paper this morning, boss? Huh? The paper? That came out of left field. You didn't read it? Then you don't know the big news! Somebody spotted an abominable snowman way up in the mountains! Tell me you know the difference between a paper and a tabloid, Athena. It might show up in the forest where you live, Junie. So you better watch out, okay? I think she has other stuff on her mind right now, Athena. You really should read the story for yourself. I couldn't even begin to do it justice. Justice? Huh? Oh, poor Apollo. And it's all my fault. Athena! Oh, Junie. What was I thinking? I'm so sorry. Yes, we found a passed-out Apollo with blood all around yesterday, for the unaware. What we found yesterday was not Apollo's dead body, thank goodness. He'd been assaulted by someone with a blow to his head and was lying unconscious. My wrist hurts. Tactics. We rushed into the hospital right away, and it looks like he's gonna pull through. But it was still quite a shock to stumble on a scene like that. No joke! I was shocked. Did you see the shock on my face? Here it is on screen now. From last episode. He's stunned, that man. Is Miss Woods all right, Athena? Athena? Sorry, we don't have that kind of relationship yet. Well, I managed to get her to stop crying. Now she's resting on that sofa over there. I guess she really feels responsible for what happened to Apollo. Poor Junie. She believes that the reason Apollo was attacked is because he was helping her look for something in that courtroom. In a very dark way, this could be a blessing in disguise, because if there's someone hanging around the courtroom on that same day that we were having a trial, you know, I couldn't help but notice that Ted.3 left the room promptly before you were called back in for questioning, Junie. Oh? I guess I can see why she... Wait, what did she say? Oh, right, yes. I guess I can see why she'd think that. By the way, how are you doing? Who, me? Yeah, you. I know you're concerned about Miss Woods, but are you alright? Me? I'm doing just fine, boss. I mean, yeah, it was a huge shock, but I'm alright. People who've studied analytical psychology are great at times like these. After all, they've learned how to control their own emotions, too. Somehow, I don't think it's as easy as she makes it sound. But there's no denying she's a real trooper. Apollo doesn't remember a thing, does he? Yeah, he can't recall anything from the time of... Oh, he was awake. I sort of assumed he would still be sort of resting. He can't recall anything from the time right before he was assaulted. Nothing about what he was doing in courtroom number 4, or who assaulted him. Nothing about what he was doing in courtroom 4. Must have been a blow to the head then. Doctor said it's probably due to that hit he took to the head. Assaulted in a court of law and losing your memory at that. I know how that feels. But who in the world would do such a thing, huh, Mr. Wright? Guys, just Just wait till I get my hands on the coward who hurt our Apollo! Now, Athena. I thought you said you were in control of your emotions. Let's just focus on helping Miss Woods, okay? But I admit I'm just as upset as you. Okay, boss, you're right. The Apollo's assailant can wait until after we clear Junie's name. That's the spirit. Now, let's see. I'd better check the court record one more time just before the trial starts. Did anything change? So we've got this. This is very new and important, as is this. Right, okay, and this is changed to reflect recent events. A mention of Ted Tonate disappearing during, being unaccounted for while Apollo was hurt? No mention! Curious. If memory serves, when I have more than 6 pieces of evidence, I should be able to... Oh, right, gotcha. There's the Mr. Wright! I'm ready whenever you are. All right, let's get ready to rumble. You bet! I love that widget displays her emotions as well, with the same 4 icons that are on her little Moon Matrix program. With everything that happened with Apollo, I didn't have time for a proper investigation. I can't let that stop me, though. I have to get this right for Miss Woods' sake and for Apollo's, too. Miss Woods' sake, I guess I should say. All right, day 2. I'm glad I get another chance in the courtroom again, because I need to redeem myself from from episodes 1 and 2. December 18th, 9:50 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 5. I love these new scenes. Day 2, court is now in session. All rise. I will not be doing that because I will mess up my recording setup. Well, no one else stood up either.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is also ready, Your Honor.
Now then, I believe I instructed the prosecution to further their investigation. Were you able to locate the remote switch in question?
I'm afraid the remote switch is still missing, Your Honor.
How convenient. You can't even trace to see if her fingerprints were on it.
I must say I'm disappointed, Mr. Payne. Not angry, just disappointed.
I apologize, Your Honor.
Ha! Looks like the prosecutor's just as unprepared as I am. When does that stop? When does that made it easy, though?
There is a separate matter, however, that I would like to bring up during this trial.
A separate matter, you say? Then what might that be?
I hope it has something to do with Apollo.
I assume you are aware that another incident occurred during yesterday's trial? I'm speaking, of course, of the assault on Mr. Justice in the ruins of courtroom number 4.
Uh-oh. Why is he bringing that up? Yeah, how does this help him? This seems like it would only help us, because we can prove that someone else wanted him to not find stuff there. Because Juniper was in this courtroom while that happened. So we can at the very least prove that it wasn't her alone. Which leads to things unraveling. So I would think this could only help us, but let's see.
Yes, what a truly harrowing experience it must have been. Poor Mr. Justice.
At the time of the attack, Mr. Justice was not alone. He was with the defendant, Miss Juniper Woods.
That is incorrect. She was in our courtroom, was she not? Am I mixing up the timeline of things? Yeah, what? That's total garbage. Oh, I see. Well, the 3 of us were the first to report it, I guess, so that there's no evidence that anyone else... Does this court not have security cameras? Please, God. You can't be serious. He isn't going where I think he's going with this, is he?
The prosecution wishes to indict Miss Woods on the charge of Mr. Justice's assault.
Order in the court! Mr. Payne, the incident under deliberation here is the courtroom bombing. The assault on Mr. Justice has nothing to do with this trial.
But I believe there is a connection between this case and Mr. Justice's assault.
Well, I agree with you there. Once again, I'm doing that thing where I assume common sense applies here. Even though I don't always apply common sense correctly, the few times when I do, I forget that it's an Ace Attorney game, and of course there wouldn't be any security cameras to show that no, we the 3 of us did not in fact bonk Apollo on the head and then self-report.
Please take a moment to consider these facts. Both events occurred in courtroom number 4. This is the location in courtroom number 4 where the unconscious Mr. Justice was discovered. As you can see, it's quite close to where Detective Arms' body was found.
Okay. Courtroom number 4 diagram added to the court record. Righty.
The question is, why did the culprit feel the need to maliciously attack Mr. Justice?
Why, indeed. But what do you believe their motive to be, Mr. Payne?
You know, one thing I'm just like, I'm spacing on it in this game is, if we can tell how people are feeling, then unless they can trick themselves into feeling stuff, aren't we just gonna, like, breeze through every single testimony? I mean, obviously not, because it's a game, and they have to add challenge, but I wonder how they're gonna explain away circumstances where we miss their emotions. That would be very telling.
I believe Mr. Justice found something in that courtroom while Miss Woods was with him. Evidence that fingered her as the perpetrator of the bombing.
You mean he found some incriminating evidence?
Precisely. And so I surmise that the defendant picked up a piece of rubble and hit Mr. Justice on the back of the head in order to silence him.
And you think, just to be clear here, you believe that this careless bomber who was willing to pick up and handle a bomb and the plushed animal that contained it with her bare hands, and also steal a remote, like a valuable piece of evidence from a courtroom, you believe that this careless person who was leaving her fingerprints all over everything suddenly decided to wear gloves on the piece of rubble that she used to knock out Apollo. You are just like a new breed of human. I don't understand you one bit.
Objection!
You have no proof. Tony would never do such a thing. She was devastated when we found Apollo hurt like that.
Miss Sykes, please control your outbursts.
It is the prosecution's belief that by deliberating on Mr. Justice's assault, we will draw ever closer to the truth of the courtroom bombing itself.
I agree. I'm with you there. Let's do it. Let's tango.
Very well. Miss Woods is hereby officially indicted on the charge of assaulting Mr. Justice.
What? Why are you listening to Mr. Toupee over there? Although, considering our conversation yesterday, I think Apollo might have figured something out. Wonder what it was. He told me, I'm going to look for evidence to clear your name, Juniper. Maybe the two incidents really are related after all. I tend to think so.
They would like to start by hearing from the defendant herself.
Very well. Bailiff, please bring Miss Woods to the witness stand.
Not again. Oh, Junie, we've got you, buddy. Does she have like an acorn, a pine cone on her little shawl? That's very cute. I'm sorry. I can't seem to stop. Just huff your flower till we're through this. Miss Woods. Guess she's still really upset about Apollo.
Miss Woods, you went to the ruins of courtroom number 4 with Mr. Justice, did you not?
Yes, I did.
Good. If you would, then please testify about what happened to the court.
He took, you guys called me back in and I left. Yeah, wait, hang on. If she got called back in, surely the bailiff or whatever was there and like brought her away from Apollo and saw that she hadn't hit him yet. Or at all. Period. Or did she say that she was like, she just sort of left? Under what circumstance did she leave? I guess she's about to testify about it. Why am I asking? Alone with Apollo. During the trial yesterday, I was overcome by a fit of coughing. Apollo stayed with me and we went to the courtroom ruins together. But then I was called back to this courtroom to give testimony. You were called back from the ruins of the other courtroom, so surely the bailiff saw you two and saw that he was all right. Or am I being like profoundly thick and missing some obvious implication there? Apollo insisted on staying behind in courtroom number 4. I swear I didn't attack Apollo. Why would I ever hurt such a kind person?
So Mr. Justice stayed by your side while you were feeling unwell. What an admirable young man. I thought his loud voice was his only outstanding feature.
Objection! He may look like a little imp at times, but Apollo can be really nice too. I hope she didn't hurt her wrist backhanding that one out.
But one has to wonder, why did Mr. Justice stay behind
I love the little, like, team dynamic they have going on here.
Why did Mr. Justice stay behind in the ruins?
I think Apollo might have figured something out.
Something? What kind of something?
Something to do with the courtroom bombing kind of something, I think.
Oh, new evidence for the case, was it? That's a very big kind of something indeed.
Chatter, chatter. Gobble, gobble. Speak, speak. I believe so. He mentioned looking for some evidence while I was called away.
Objection!
On what grounds?
Just as I thought, there is a connection between the two incidents.
Yep, you nailed it.
But the defendant has told a very big lie, Your Honor.
What lie is that?
When she learned Mr. Justice would be looking for evidence, she attacked him. She attacked him to give herself the chance to destroy that evidence. No, I never... Ms. Woods repaid Mr. Justice's kindness with violence.
How can you call someone back to a courtroom as the bailiff and not, like, be there to see?
We found proof of her foul deed there in the courtroom ruins.
Oh, are you kidding me? Come on, surely we've this is old ground we've tread already. If he was knocked out by a blow to the head, he did not have time to write Woods. You gotta be shitting me. Where did he put his finger to get that amount of blood to write that much? What on earth?
Do you see it? There in front of Mr. Justice's right hand?
We certainly didn't see that.
Witness the message that he left us.
It's written in blood. W-O-O-D-S? Why, isn't that...
That's right, Your Honor. It says Woods in capital letters.
What?
I submit that Mr. Justice left us with the name of his attacker before he fainted.
Apollo's assault photo added to the court record. Apollo shown collapsed on the floor. The bloody writing is also visible. So obviously Phoenix and Co didn't notice that because that's ridiculous, and they just didn't find it there. Meaning presumably Mr. Tenate came back in between when we found him and some other time and wrote that. Either that or he just doctored the photo.
No, that can't be true. Why would Apollo write my name? Mr. Wright, the nerve of him leaving that message. Why would he do this? Hey, don't take it out on me. I don't understand it any more than you do.
Also, you can't seriously believe that he wrote that. When we discovered Apollo yesterday, that wasn't there.
Apollo! No.
Ah! Thanks for that scream, me. I did a great job. We didn't even have a chance to rush over to him. As soon as security heard Athena's scream, they ran in and cordoned off to the area. Oh, really? We didn't get a close enough to look at it to see if there was some 3-foot-long message written in blood? Well, damn. I mean, even if we did, it's not like they're gonna believe us anyway. After that, they were there in courtroom number 4 with Apollo that whole time. We couldn't investigate anything ourselves and had to leave everything to the police. Still, I never thought they would find some bloody writing there.
Now then, please begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
So will the pinpoint button appear if I'm allowed to detect discordant emotions? Alone with Apollo. I don't see it yet, but there's press, so that's going to be useful. During the trial yesterday, I was overcome by a fit of coughing. Apollo stayed with me and we went to the courtroom together, but then I was called back to this courtroom to give testimony. I want to hear about that, please. Apollo insisted on staying behind in courtroom number 4. I swear to fudge buckets.
Look, it's obvious Junie didn't attack Apollo. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Right, I agree. They must have gone to look for Bum Rap Riney together, but why did they need to find it so badly that they go to all that trouble? I better try to find out more. I guess if they found the rest of the rhino and they could find her fingerprints on it, then they would prove that she was holding that and not the phony Fantine. That's at least a helpful leg up. Sorry, what was that last bit though? I swear I didn't attack Apollo. Why would I ever hurt such a kind person? I'm curious about pushing on that just because what the hell would Phoenix say? But this is the one I'm interested in.
Hold it!
That was when you were called to the stand after Mr. Tenate's testimony, right? After Mr. Tenate's testimony, who then left out of our watchful eyes.
Yes, the bailiff came to courtroom number 4 and brought me back to the... He brought you back to the... The bailiff brought you back from court, walked with you, and everyone thinks you... I don't understand.
And what about Mr. Justice? Did he come with you or did he stay behind?
Apollo insisted on... Can we have the bailiff testify, please? Hold it!
I better not ask her about Apollo. I know, I'll use some small talk here to get her to relax a bit. Why not ask her about Apollo? Oh, because she'll be really distressed. Do you have any hobbies, Mr. Woods? Mr. Woods, sorry, Miss Woods?
Hobbies? Oh, well, I love growing vegetables in my garden. And I love to knit. I like sewing, too. I made this outfit myself.
You did? God damn, is that ever impressive? It's very intricate.
Even the hat? Keep it up, Mr. Wright. It's working. Now ask her if she has a crush on anyone.
Is there anyone in particular you like right now? Why are we asking this exactly?
Mr. Wright, is that question even remotely related to this case?
To this case? Not really.
Mr. Wright, you will refrain from asking questions unrelated to the case at hand.
Sorry, Your Honor. -1 to brownie points.
Miss Woods, please continue with your testimony. I believe you were telling the court about your attack on Mr. Justice.
I didn't attack him. What were you saying that for? Oh man, she's so sad and distressed right now. I feel terrible. Hold it! So you think Mr. Justice is kind? God, I'm pushing on very silly points here.
Yes, very kind. He rescued me. He's like the sun, strong and warm. He makes me feel strong too.
The only adjectives I associate with the sun are sweltering and oppressive. I'm with you there all the way, man.
But then Apollo got hurt, and it's all my fault. Junie, Apollo's gonna be fine. He's just like the sun, right? Well, the sun doesn't just drop out of the sky. You really think he'll be fine? But the sun does go down at night. Then that means Apollo could...
Mr. Payne, I do not think much of men who make young ladies cry.
Right, okay. Still time to push, though, I think, on these first 2 points. You were overcome by a fit of coughing. You went to the courtroom ruins together. So I guess here he's going to press on why did you go there.
Hold it!
Why exactly did you go to the courtroom ruins?
We went to look for my medicine to stop my coughing.
Oh, well, that's not what I expected. Your medicine? Why would your medicine be in courtroom number 4? I guess you left it there yesterday, or 2 days ago. I dropped it in the heat of the moment. Bumrat Riney, he was keeping my medicine safe for me. What was it? Was it inside him or something? He has a little compartment I can put things in, you see? And Phony Fanty has the same type of pocket. That's where the bomb was inserted. I had put my medicine for my coughing fits inside Bumrat Riney. When I told Apollo about it, he said he'd help me go back and look for him. There was so much rubble in there. I was worried, but there was no rubble or anything in front of the witness stand. Oh, an interesting detail. And corroborated by the, diagram, at least at the time it was written, or drawn, I guess. So when we got inside, Apollo went straight there and started looking for my Riney in that area. Around the witness stand, you mean? It was so nice of him to do that for me, in spite of all his injuries. Is this really the size of the courtroom? I didn't realize the witness stand was so... Oh, right, of course, sorry. I always get it backwards. That's the exit right behind her. So she is literally like right in front of the door to the exit. I don't know why Apollo was looking for the rhino on the witness stand when she would have been sitting at the bench when it blew up, but never mind, I guess it's a bomb, it can throw stuff around. It was so nice of him to do that for me, even in spite of all his injuries. Apollo is so strong and kind, just like the trees of the forest. I don't know that, I'm sure Phoenix is gonna be like, I don't think trees are kind. The way she makes him sound, you'd think Apollo was some kind of ancient god. Oh, wait.
So that's why you went to the ruins. I see. That seems to be quite an important fact. Please add it to your testimony, Miss Woods.
Apollo started looking for Bumrat Riney near the witness stand where there was no rubble. Okay, I think they want me to do something here, but it certainly seems peculiar to me that... Oh, well, I guess there was no rubble is not corroborated by this piece of rubble in this photograph. Objection! What? The witness's statement clearly contradicts this piece of evidence, Your Honor.
And what exactly about the testimony is inconsistent with that?
I apologize, Your Honor. I seem to have made a slight miscalculation.
You never change, do you? Let this be a lesson to always take every factor into account, Mr. Wright.
Ouch! Guess I should have seen that one coming. Hey, at least it refilled our health in between that. Is that not a contradiction, though? I would categorize this as near the witness stand, and I would categorize this as rubble. I guess I better just push on there. Hold it!
Bam!
The area around the witness stand, are you sure about that? I'm sorry. Did I say something wrong? No, of course not. I was just testing my hearing. Must not upset her. Must not upset her. Yes, I'm sure that was where we searched first. Okay, unless they want me to put the diagram there. I mean, there is rubble around here, just not, well, there's... She said in front of the witness stand, which makes me think here. And there isn't rubble there, I agree with that. Objection! I'll put it there. So we started a search with the witness stand, you say? That's right. I guess maybe he wanted to start from the furthest point in the room. How is the witness stand the furthest point in the room? If this is the entrance and this is the witness stand and the judge's stuff and the benches are all way up here, surely this is the closest part in the room. I guess in front of I was supposed to interpret that as this side of it. But I would think if you came into the room from here, I would say that I'm at the front of the room. So in front of the witness stand would be here. God damn it! I've gotten wrecked by semantics on like every single point I've looked like an idiot on so far. That's right. I guess maybe he wanted to start from the furthest point in the room. He was being so brave and strong. But that's odd. Under the circumstances, he shouldn't have been capable of that. But he was, and he still is. He might not look it, but he really is brave. And kind, too. I mean, he looks pretty brave. He looks like he has the look of a superhero. No, that's not the part I'm finding fault with. Someone has a crush on Apollo. What you're claiming is something that no one should have been able to do.
But I should think that anyone can be brave and kind if they wanted to be, Mr. Wright.
True, anyone can be brave and kind. But if you would please take a look at this diagram. With the courtroom in the state, how is it possible to walk up to the witness stand? Oh!
I see your point. The rubble blocks off access to the area around the witness stand.
It does? Oh, this is a piece of rubble, is it? Why is it, like, perfectly cut a hexagon? I thought that was just supposed to be, like, a floor decal. This is a piece of rubble? Alright, I guess that's fair enough. I should have put some cracks in it, if you ask me.
The rubble blocks off access to the area around the witness stand.
Does such a tiny inconsistency even matter?
You would know?
Perhaps the witness is simply misremembering it?
Great, now I'm not so sure it matters.
A real man doesn't make mountains out of molehills, you know.
Well, that's precisely what Mr. Wright does best.
Can I call slander, Your Honor?
So, was it really impossible to approach the witness stand? I have to say, it's a bit hard to tell with any accuracy just from this diagram.
Yeah, especially since they're drawing really perfectly symmetrical pieces of rubble.
Mr. Payne, do you have any other photos of the crime scene?
Let me see, Your Honor. Ah, yes, I have one more. Here it is.
Why was this never... Oh, that's why it's perfectly hexagonal, because it's not a piece of rubble at all. It's the damn bomb case.
Here it is, a more pulled back version of the photo I presented before.
Apollo's assault photo updated in the court record. Apollo showing collapse on the floor. The bloody writing is also visible, as is this thing. Huh? What's that hunk of metal on wheels? Mr. Payne, is the metallic object in that photo Mr. Tanate's bomb transport case?
That's right. Is there some problem?
Well, it's in front of the witness stand when it's evidence in a case.
Oh, yes, that transport case was there in courtroom number 4 when the bomb went off.
In front of the witness stand?
It must have been there ever since.
Oh, that's it!
Miss Woods, have you remembered something?
Yes, I just realized. Its position, it's different from before.
Its position? The position of what? The bomb carrying thing?
The position of that big metal thing?
The bomb transport case.
Yes. When Apollo and I went there, it was in a different place.
Where the case is in the photo was open space, so it was easy to search the stand. I see. So where was the transport case when you and Mr. Justice saw it?
As I recall, I think it was more to the right.
To the right? Then that means... In that case, the case was over there at the Sorry. In that case, the case was over there at the time of Paul's attack.
Who cares what the transport case was when? What difference does it make? It has nothing at all to do with...
Where the transport case was has everything to do with this discussion. In fact, it's so important that it's enough to turn the prosecution's argument on its ear.
What?
Well, that certainly sounds like very relevant indeed. Sounds like very relevant. I'm very good at reading, you see. Well, that certainly sounds very relevant indeed. And you sound as though you know where the case was at the time of the attack.
Yes, Your Honor. This diagram represents the crime scene as shown in the photo. And this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault on Mr. Justice. Alright, I have this. The bomb transport case was here at the time of Paul's attack. So, I mean, she said to the right, and that would be where the Woods writing is.
Take that!
Bam!
Your Honor, I assert that this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault. Oh, is it possible that Woods was written there before then? And the case was there to cover it up, I guess?
But that's...
Inconceivable!
Miss Woods, was this where the transport case was when you saw it?
Yes, that's where it was.
Thank you, Miss Woods. I'm sure the court has noted an interesting fact about this position.
The transport case covers up the writing in blood.
Exactly. If the transport case was in that position at the time of the assault, then the blood was already written, or it could have been. Then no message could have been written there because the case was in the way. Which leads us to the conclusion that Mr. Justice couldn't have left that bloody writing.
Why should we believe the defendant's claim that the defendant's case was in a different position? She's obviously lying.
Objection!
The fact that the case was moved after the assault on Mr. Justice is proved by more than Miss Woods' testimony alone.
What? And where is this proof you're talking about?
It's right here in the crime photo.
I'm keen to see this proof myself, Mr. Wright. What in this photo indicates that the transport case was moved after the assault?
Now this I'm not sure. Just the dirt marks, I guess? And I guess whoever did it threw the bandages over here. Oh, but the dirt marks go over the bandages. Because you can see the dirt marks clearly go over the bandages, which so they would have had to have been there before it was rolled over. No, I guess that makes sense then. Yeah, it was moved after he was knocked out. It had to have been. That would be right over here, Your Honor.
Take that!
Please take a look at the mark that runs over Mr. Justice's bandages here.
I see it, but what is it?
This mark was made by one of the casters from the transport case carrying the bomb. As the case was moved, it ran over his bandages. In other words, the transport case was originally to the right of Mr. Justice. Then, after Mr. Justice was assaulted, BAM! The transport case was moved.
What?
Just as Miss Wood said, the case was covering the writing at the time of the assault. Therefore, it was impossible for Mr. Justice to have left that message in blood.
No!
It doesn't necessarily prove that she didn't do it, but it proves that someone other than him did it, which is obviously weird.
You did it, boss!
It was a real nail biter, but she pulled it off. Why would she incriminate herself by writing her own name in blood, I guess? Yeah, I'm still not feeling back on my game yet, Athena. Sorry, I'm not putting on a very good show. I need to save this game that I'm obviously gonna lose. Oh my good God, it's actually time for the episode to end. I didn't even notice. God, this game goes by in a word. It's so good. Oh, I forgot how much fun it is recording Ace Attorney games. Well, shucks, damn it! I'm not gonna make any more promises about me getting better at this, because it's obviously not gonna happen. I'm going to scrape by in a mediocre fashion for the rest of this game, I'm sure. But it's still gonna be good fun anyway. And that's the end of it for now. So, next video going up the channel is gonna be... Bugger! I forget. I think it's more Sunshine Arcade. Yes, some more Sunshine Arcade, and after which there's gonna be some more Resident Evil, so do look on out for those. And next time here, we'll be carrying on to the rest of day 2. We were able to take out day 1 in 2 episodes, so perhaps we'll be able to manage the same thing with day 2? I don't know. Well, I get probably not, because there's so much we haven't yet really interfaced with. No mention of the remote timer, no mention of Candace Arm's situation at all. There's a whole lot to consider here. But man, this game just gets right into it. We've already had like a traumatic flashback for Athena. Apollo's been knocked out after being bombed. All that excitement and more next time on today's Starting Dual Destinies. So thank you so very much for coming around to this episode. Hopefully I will see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now.
Peace!
Sure, let's face our sin now. Then sinners be judged. It's weird that you're not actually, you would think you would have to play as the people who are pertinent, but you don't actually seem to have to. Unfortunately, the fights are very lax in terms of difficulty.